So today I'm hosting this workshop, but I'm just going to start with a quick presentation, and then I want you to ask any question that you have, like get engaged, get involved. It's a workshop that's done to help you, and I really want to spend the time that we have here, only 30 minutes, to answer any question that you have. So no questions is out of the table. Feel free to ask. So maybe to start, just going to explain quickly my background. So I have about 5 to 6 years of experience in recruitment. I worked for a lot of different industries. And for the past 4 years, I've been working as a recruiter, specifically for tech positions. So data science, computer science, full stack, front end, back end, cloud engineers. And what we've been seeing in the past year, my team and I, we've hired more than 250 people. And we've seen that a lot of people were making the same mistakes again and again. And definitely there's something that I can do to share what I've learned from my experience. And let me share. Can you see my screen? Because I saw someone asking if I have a PowerPoint to share.
No, we don't see anything right now.
Okay. Let me try again. Can you see now?
Yep, we can see it.
Perfect. Great. So maybe the first steps when you're going to apply to a position. So whether it's a co-op or for your first job, you really need to get organized. Like I say, like if you want to get a job, you'll probably have to apply to a lot of positions, and it's very important to stay organized. And what I would recommend is just using Excel or any kind of app where you can try to which position you applied, who was the contact person, what kind of job that was. Because when you start applying to a lot of positions at the same time and you do get a call from a recruiter, it can really be embarrassing when you don't remember the job, you don't really remember what's the company. So just keep staying organized will definitely help you. When you apply to a job, you can find a lot of job postings online, but keep in mind that what you're seeing online is just maybe 20% of all the jobs that are available. So going on websites like Indeed, Job Monsters, those are like very bad organized websites when a lot of the postings maybe have expired already. So what I would recommend is just going on the company's website directly, going on their career page, and that's where you'll be able to find a lot of job postings. For the last 3 companies that I worked on, weirdly, they were not posting their job online. So they were just like posting the job openings on their website, but not advertising them on other job boards, which is a bit weird. But for like the market at the moment, it's really competitive. So we have a lot of people that apply, and we just don't have the need to advertise the jobs anywhere else. Also on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a good way to find job postings. Also, the thing to keep in mind is that reaching out to recruiters or someone in the company from LinkedIn is completely okay. People are doing that all the time. There's no shame in just like sending a quick message saying like, hey, I see that you're working at that company. I'm super interested. Would you mind getting on a phone call, like 10-minute phone call with me? Or would you mind giving me some insights on your job, if there is any openings that could fit my profile? A lot of people are doing that on LinkedIn, and I would recommend really strongly to connect with recruiters, HR, anyone in the company. Because when people are receiving resumes, they're receiving like tons of resumes, and maybe just seeing your name on LinkedIn popping up, they will do the research in their system and open your resume. And network. So network is super important. So like I put on the deck, 70% of all jobs will never be publicly published. And it's something that I'm seeing in my own company right now. Like we have someone that resigned. We didn't post a job. We were just asking people for reference, like chatting with our networks. And for most of the positions, you will never see any job posting online. So it's super important, like I said, to look into your network. And if you don't have a network, you can create yourself one on LinkedIn, reaching out to people, and you will be surprised to see how many people are super happy and will tell you a bit more about themselves, their career, their experience. Something that you could do, for example, thinking about the kind of job and the kind of company you would like to work for, and finding someone with a similar profile as yourself. So let's say as someone that studied the same program in the same university, reaching out to them on LinkedIn and say something along like, hey, I'm myself a student in computer science at University of Toronto. I see that you were also a student back in 2018. Would you mind sharing with me some advice? Do you know if in your company there is any opportunity for an internship, a co-op? So don't hesitate to reach out to people online. And then when you get to the stage of getting an interview, it's super important that you arrive there prepared. That's something that we're seeing also a lot of time getting on phone calls with candidates. And maybe one of the first question that we will ask them would be like, hey, what do you know already about the company? And you would be surprised to see that most candidates like don't even know like what company they applied for. They didn't do any research, which is not a very good image that you're sharing like of yourself. It makes it seem that you're not really interested, that you're not someone that is structured, organized. So preparing some of the answers also for the most common questions. If you see like for any kind of positions, usually recruiters will ask you very similar questions. So maybe getting prepared in advance. There's a lot of resources that you can find online on common questions for interviews, and preparing your answers beforehand so that you will not blank during the interview. For some of the technical positions, companies are now using a lot of technical challenges, technical tests. So for example, at my company at the moment, we're using HackerRank, which is like a coding challenge. And this is something that you can practice for. Definitely, you're not gonna invent skills, right? If you don't know how to code Python, you're not going to learn in 2 hours. But just maybe looking at some of the examples that exist online already of what kind of technical tests you can have, and also asking tips to other people within the company, for example, that you've reached out to on LinkedIn, asking them, do you have any tips for the challenge? Do you have any tips for the online assessment? And finally, do your research on the company. That's really obvious, but like I said, a lot of people are not doing that research. So maybe knowing more about, okay, what is the company doing? What kind of product they're designing, where they're located, so that when you join the interview meeting, the phone interview, and someone asks you like why you're interested in working with them, you can easily answer that questions regarding of the research that you did. During the actual interviews, whether it's a phone interview or a video interview at the moment, a lot of companies are doing video interviews. Just remember to relax. That's just a discussion. Obviously, yes, there is some pressure for you because you're looking for a job, but it's important to stay relaxed because you want to give them straight answers, not be confused, stay organized in what you're saying. Obviously showing your interest and asking a lot of questions that will even show that you are interested, that you did some research on the company. And the kind of questions that recruiters really like would be questions like, can you tell me about the team? How many people are in the team? What kind of project will be coming in the next few months? Maybe something more about the types of skills that they're looking for, how you can improve yourself, how you can prepare for the interview. All those questions that will show that you have a strong interest for the job opening. And also giving detailed answers. It's important to stay organized, like I said, in your answers. If someone asks you a question, for example, tell me more about your skills in Java, it's important that you explain clearly what are those skills, that you prove in a sense that you have the skills. So by saying, I'm pretty strong in Java, I have done a few projects on Java, for example, this and this, and the result was that my team was able to create a full website that we used during this hackathon, and we won a prize. Like something pretty simple, but you explain exactly what you did, what was the results, and you can even add any challenges that you had, so that it's clear to the recruiter, the company, the team members that you know what you're talking about and you have that experience. Showing your skills, it's important for you to sell yourself. Obviously, yes, staying humble, but also if you had some success in your professional life at university, it's important to explain what were those success. So for example, today everyone here is attending a hackathon. So not being shy of saying that you are super interested in technology, you even attended a few hackathons when you were at university, and you were able to create a product. So being proud of what you did is also super important. And maybe trying to create kind of a connection. So when recruiters or the person that will be interviewing you maybe explain what kind of work they're doing, saying things along like, oh, that seems super interesting. I would really love to work on something similar. I think I would fit in your team, making sure that you are also showing and showcasing that you have social skills and collaboration skills. The very difficult part, accepting an offer. So not maybe the accepting an offer, but making sure that you're not going to get tricked by the company into accepting something that is not worth your skills. So first, also thinking about the start date, that's something that you would ask if someone offers you a position, making sure that it's working for you. For the salary, you need to do some research on the market, and there's a lot of resources online like Glassdoor, even Indeed, LinkedIn, where you can find a range of salary range, base salary on exactly what kind of position. So you could type like salary range for a junior full stack developer, and you will have an idea so that when you accept a position, you make sure that you're not going to be underpaid. If you're overpaid, well, great for you, but making sure that you're not going to accept anything. You can also ask during the interviews, what's the salary range? That's something that you should be asking at the beginning of the process, because you don't want to spend 3 weeks interviewing, doing online assessment, if at the end the company is not going to be paying you what you would be expecting. Asking also about benefits can be super important, a big part of the compensation. So making sure you have that information. And onboarding, now that we are remote, making sure that you are set up for success. Do you have everything you need? Like that kind of question you can ask also to the recruiter, like how will this work? If you start the position, will they send you a computer? Do you need a strong Wi-Fi? All that kind of questions. And I know a lot of people are really afraid to ask about salary, like during the recruitment process. But I think as a recruiter, if someone in the first stages asks me about the salary and they show me that they did some research, I think this will be a strong asset during the recruitment process, because I can clearly see that this candidate has done some research, he's organized, he knows about the market, and that's definitely a strong asset for yourself. The most common mistakes that we've been seeing recently, so people having very bad resume. A lot of the time, I can't even open the resume. There's something wrong with the format. So try to send your resume and cover letter in PDF, making sure there's no spelling mistakes, making sure that it's clear, that we can clearly understand, okay, what is this person studying? Does he have experience? What kind of company? What kind of task did you do? Anything related to your personal experience, so hackathon, that kind of thing, you would need to put that in your resume. Other mistakes that I'm seeing, people not applying to job because they think they're underqualified. So keep in mind that when you see a job posting online, that's the ideal candidates that we want. And I would say you can always add yourself like 1 to 2 years of experience. So if you only have 1 year of experience and on the job posting they ask 2 to 3 years, I would also apply. Like, you never know, you have nothing to lose. And a lot of candidates are not applying when in fact at the end we would recruit someone with their level of experience. So very important to be confident. And like I say, you don't have anything to lose. Maybe it's going to just waste you 5 minutes of your life, but at the end, on the other end, you would get a great job. Not asking questions. So like I mentioned, it's important to show your interest, but also making sure that the job is a good fit for you. No research, not learning from your mistake, of course, and not following up. So this is also super important when you apply to a job postings, and it happens really often. It's really annoying when you never get any replies, any feedback. So you don't even know if you got rejected. You don't know what happened with your application. You sent your resume and you never heard back from the company before. So maybe they just never opened your resume. I think 90% of the time that's what happens. So I would follow up, and you can follow up just sending an email, even calling. People are doing that on the phone and say like, hey, I applied a week ago. This is my name. Can you check if you have my resume in your system? The difficult part is to find the contact information. And like I said before, you can go through LinkedIn or on the career site. Sometimes you would have like the phone number to reach HR or an email address. Communication skills, being unprepared. It's okay to practice for an interview. I've done that before when I was a student, like practicing with my friends, making sure that people would understand what I was doing, and coming prepared to the interview. Another mistakes, being overconfident. That's something that can be really like a very big mistake when you go to an interview. If you're a junior, you're a new grad, it's important to be proud of what you did, but don't be overconfident. We have a lot of people, especially like with coding, they have like 19 years old and they will say like, oh yes, I'm an expert in Python. I'm an expert, like being super confident, which will be at the end not something that will help you through the recruitment process, because it's not creating an environment of trust where the recruiters is confident that you have the skills. They might think that if you rate yourself as an expert or as someone better than anyone else, first, you will not be a great person to collaborate with, but also maybe you are over-evaluating your skills. So making sure to stay humble during the interview while being proof of things that you actually did, but not using words like I'm an expert, I'm the best in my field. I had a fun interview, I think that was 3 weeks ago, with someone that said something along like, I don't like working with other people because I'm better by myself. I'm usually better than my colleagues. So that's really not something that we want to hear. So we have some time now for questions, and I would encourage you to ask any question that you may have. Like I said, I'm open to answering any questions. And if you have, like, if you're confused about something, if you have specific questions, maybe now you're applying to a position, feel free to ask. And you can put some question in the chat if you want. Yes, I think, Yarin, do you want to chat? You raise your hand.
Yeah, I can read out the questions for you.
Yes, can you, I just can't stop sharing my screen.
Okay, do you want me to?
Yeah, I don't think I have access anymore.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
Okay, all good. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so a question that you got was, what does it mean by give straight answers for phone interview?
So when I'm asking a question to someone, keep in mind that the recruiter that you're talking to, maybe they don't have any skills in like software development, coding. So you have to make sure that you're translating technical concepts to someone that is not technical and being very clear on what you did. So if I'm asking you, oh, you were working at, you were doing an internship at Microsoft, what were you doing? I don't want the person to be super technical. Like I want the person to be clear saying like, I was working supporting a software team in designing a product. That's it. And then I will ask you more questions. Like people are really confusing when they don't start like high level. They go straight into like the very technical details. And at the end, for a recruiter, even for other team members, a hiring manager, it can be really frustrating and it's going to make us struggle to understand actually what you were doing.
Thank you. The next one was, most of the times in my interviews, companies started off by talking about their company without asking what I know. How can I show that I researched the company and am interested when they do this?
Yes, so I would ask, so for example, like most of the companies, they have like a website with a lot of information on them. And when they present you the company, you can start with asking questions like say, hey, thanks for the information. I'm really interested in the position. And by the way, I saw on your profile, on your website that you were, for example, like recruiting for 5 positions at the moment. Is the team growing? Do you have any new projects? There are some questions that you can create and they can work for like every situation. So the one that I used just now, like looking at their career page and seeing, okay, maybe they don't have any job except the one you applied to. You could also say like, hey, is this like a backfill? Did someone left the company, or is this a new position? And commenting on some part of the website that you checked online can show that, okay, you're super interested, you did a lot of research, you spent some time looking at the company. I've got some people also that were super intense, like they looked into the financial statement of Teck, but obviously that was good, but I didn't even know how to answer their questions. So yes, definitely like finding information online, even on the news, like some companies maybe went on the news, you can find like articles, posts online on some project that they've been doing, some new products, anything like marketing you can use to show that you've seen some things on the company already.
Thank you. Does Teck use an ATS? If so, do you have any tips to ensure that a resume doesn't get weeded out?
Yes, so we're using an ATS and like it's not an ideal product, and I feel like a lot of resumes that were in Word were not opening. So I think using PDF is the best option for even emails. A lot of the systems that we can see online on Indeed is going to make sure that at least the recruiter can open your resume. And another tip that I have to ensure that your resume doesn't get like weed out would be to make sure that it's clear and easily readable. So what we're seeing with technical positions is people sending us resumes of 5 pages, with just a list of the tools that they've used in their life, and that's not something that I want to look at. And if you have less than 5 years of experience, you cannot have like a 5-page resume. I would keep it to one pager, like a 1-pager, or at least like 2 pages, and making sure that it's clearly readable and you're not just like sending like bullet points.
Thank you. And I think we have time for one more question. And that was, you said that 70% of jobs are not usually posted online or advertised. How can one approach a recruiter to find out if there are jobs available at a company?
Yes, so the easiest way to do would be go on LinkedIn, and if you type the name of a company, so let's say like you would type Microsoft, you can filter by location, like Microsoft in Canada, and then you can see the employees, and when you click on the employees, you would see all the people that are listed working at Microsoft. And usually recruiters, because they are dealing with so many candidates, they are advertising their position online, would have like an open profile with their title, like recruiter, HR, talent acquisition. And that's how you can know like who the people are. And then just sending them an email, like a mail on LinkedIn, very quick, like, hey, I see that you are working at Microsoft. I'm interested in working for you for a co-op or a full-time position. Would you mind checking my resume, or would you mind getting on a quick phone call with me? And that's how you could reach recruiters.
Thank you. And I see 2 more questions actually. So when will the job openings for CS students for fall 2021 co-op open?
So I guess this is more related to Teck, this one. So for the September co-op, we are posting both on LinkedIn and on our career page all the opportunities in mid-May, so probably like in 1 week or 2 weeks. And we'll have opportunities for computer science, business, and like UX, UI students.
Thank you. And the next question was, how long should each question be? Jason, maybe you can clarify that a little more. Okay, I am not seeing a clarification, but if anyone has any further questions, feel free to message Caroline on Discord. And thank you so much. Oh, okay, they clarified. In terms of phone interview questions, how long should each question be?
So is this for a question that you would need to ask to show your interest? It should not be like very long question, like really easy question to answer. For example, like I said, like, can you tell me more about the team? Can you tell me more about the project that you're working on? Is there any new project coming in the next few months? Like, you don't want to take too much space with your questions. So I would say ideally like 2 to 3 questions, and that's it.
Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, I think those are all the questions. That was a great session, Caroline. That was super helpful, and I hope everyone was able to take away some tips from there. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to Caroline on Discord, and also keep an eye out for any messages they have on their sponsor Teck channel. With that being said, thank you so much, Caroline. Really